Hello, everybody. How you doing? It's Gus Tucker, and I got the camera up here, so I got to look up here. And the computer's down here, so maybe we'll switch this up. But how you guys doing? It's March 31st. This is the last day of March, January, February, March. Okay, so we're talking about the first quarter of 2023 is over. Do you understand what I'm saying? The first 3 months in 2023 are over. Do you remember January, December and January, and you were making those New Year's resolutions and stuff about all the stuff you were going to do and the goals you had set? How's that going? How's that going? How's that diet going? Are we losing those pounds? You know, I know I'm leaving here to go work out with my trainer. Are we losing those pounds? Are we eating better? Are you managing your money better? You managing your time better? Are you going for your dreams? All those goals you set? So here's what's going on. Remember, we said in April we're going to start doing these do shops. During this time, we're going to focus on you working on your plans for the future. I'm going to bring this camera down here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do that. Hold on. Producer's going, "What are you doing, man? You crazy?" So here we go. Hey, Kim from Savannah. So we're gonna have conversation, heart to heart conversation today, and we're gonna get you ready for next week. Because next week we're just gonna be focused on putting your plan together, okay? And so I'm gonna jump right over to here. Look, in April is about doing this. Now, if you don't register for the do shop, right? I won't send you the information that we've got to help you through the process. You have to figure that out on your own, but I'm still going to go through the information, okay? So we want you to get prepared to develop the black economy. What do I mean by that? As we've talked about, black folks still have less than 2% of the wealth in the United States. And less than 2%. And it's been that way for 160 years. Okay. Whereas Jewish people are less than a, a few tenths of a percent of the people in America, and they have more of the wealth than we do. Why? It's because of their perspective on money. There's a book called Thou Shalt Prosper by Rabbi Lapin, Lapin, Rabbi Lapin. He's got a series of books. You ought to get them and read them. Because Jewish people look at money as a good thing. And money is a result of you serving your fellow man and doing a good service to them so you get paid and you make money. So it's a part of their spiritual being and upbringing that money is good. And a lot of money is just what happens when you're great at serving people. And I don't know about you, but when I grew up, man, there were a lot of crazy thoughts about money. And then I was in the church and it got even a little weirder how we thought about money. And we're a little backwards. So we got a lot of stuff to overcome over and above the systemic racism and other stuff that's going on. There's some stuff inside of us we got to deal with. So this workshop is about empowering you in terms of your view towards money and then how you manage your money. So there's some practical things you need to do to put yourself in position to win financially. And we're going to talk about them in this do shop. So here are the ways you can register. It's a whopping $19.99, $19.99, and you can pay through PayPal, Cash App, or Zelle. And you're going to you're going to register by emailing. You're going to email me at that email and give me your email address, and then I'll send you the materials. Okay? Does that make sense? You got any questions? I'm gonna leave it up there for a minute. You got any questions? You can put them in the comment section, and we'll get them. Okay? So I'm gonna leave that up there for a second. No questions? Okay. All right. Now we were going through this checklist, right? And this checklist is, hey, Val Rose, that's a nice name. I've never heard that name before, watching from Florida. And we're going through this checklist. It goes through 20 different things to, to prepare you uh, for having a plan that covers all the basic areas you need to cover uh, in your financial plan. Okay, but I want to focus on one thing today. We may end a little early, but I want to focus on one thing. We had a workshop here in Chicago. I mean, we hosted it in Chicago, but there were people from all over the country um, on the webinar. We had one of the top estate planning attorneys in the country. His firm has offices in about 40 states and 10 foreign countries. They're one of the largest estate planning networks and organizations in America. And we had the CEO who came in and did a webinar for us, and he's going to be back on April 27th. And I'm going to give you the information. And I would encourage you to attend that as a part of our do shop. One of the things you're going to need to do is get your estate plan in place. What? Estate plan? Who needs an estate plan? Well, I'm telling you, once you turn 18, you need an estate plan, whether you own anything or not. Because one of the things you do own that you're required to take care of is your person, your body, your health, your person. And we're going to talk to you about why that's important. So I'm going to skip to this. We may come back to some of this other stuff, but I'm going to skip to this. Oh man, this guy kind of messed up. Okay, but on Thursday, April 27th at 7 o'clock, 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. Okay, 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. April 27th. Mark the date down now. Go to your calendar. Mark out an hour from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock if you're in Central, 8 to 9 if you're Eastern, and just put estate planning in there. And you need to text me at this number, 312-569-0757, 312-569-0757, or financialfreedomfridays@gmail.com. Financialfreedomfridays@gmail.com. So text or email me and I'll send you the link for this seminar on Thursday, April 27th. And this is a unique opportunity to essentially interact with one of the best estate planning attorneys in the United States, to get some questions answered and to get a look at some information. And because if you decide to do the estate plan by being and we refer you, you'll save half of what it would normally cost. Okay. So a couple of things I want to talk to you about. Estate planning. Okay. Did you know that less than half of Americans have any form of an estate plan? The number is down around 20%. Even when families have completed estate planning documents, they often overlook mistakes or fail to properly fund or update their plan properly as time goes on. Given how important proper estate planning can be for a family, it's critical to make sure you have the right documents in place to protect against unforeseen emergencies. Here's some of the information you'll need. Now, one of the things we talked about last night was we typically think about estate planning as for wealthy people. That is for wealthy people. No, it is not. I don't have any estates. I don't have any mansions. you know, I don't have 7 cars. I don't have multiple properties. I don't have an estate. Yes, you do. And your estate first talks about your person. Your estate talks about your person. And there are a couple of things regarding your person that you need to consider. And here's the first one. A living will or medical power of attorney and healthcare directives. Once a person's 18, even if it's your parents, they don't have the right to make medical decisions for you if you're in a state where you can't make the decisions for yourself. Because once you become 18, you're considered an adult And if you don't have this medical power of attorney in place, they can't make decisions for you. Um, that also, and depending on the state you're in, that also means that for your spouse. The attorney told a story of a gentleman who was hurt and went into a coma and needed to have, this was in Texas, needed to have decisions made for him on his health care. And his wife, he says, my producer said it happened with his dad. His wife couldn't make decisions for him. And so they had to get a guardianship or conservatorship for him to get that done. And because of COVID and what was happening with the court system, you know how long it took him to get that done? 18 months. So for 18 months, the hospital made all the decisions about his care, and the wife just had to watch. There were also financial decisions that she couldn't make on accounts where she wasn't already on them. You know what I mean? Her name wasn't on the account, and she couldn't access that account to do their business. So one of the reasons why, if you're 18 years old or older, you need to have the medical power of attorney so people can make decisions for you. Okay? So think about that. If you're 18 or over, you need that. Now, guess how many people don't have that? All of them. Almost nobody has that in place. Okay? So just think about that for a second. Okay, here's another one. How many of you out there listening to this right now have kids under 18 years old? Or your kids have kids under 18 years old? Okay. Um, and this happens because I have a client that this happened to them. They're not my clients anymore because, much like this couple that had two small kids, 1 and 3 years old, they went to Mexico on vacation, right? Grandma was taking care of the kids. And on the way home, back to pick up the kids, the worst thing happened. Both parents were killed in a car accident. Okay? Both parents killed in a car accident. So the grandmother goes to the courts because she's always the one watching the kids and nominates herself to be the guardian for the kids. Well, guess what the court says? The court says, no, you can't be the guardianship. You're on Social Security or fixed income. You got a 1 bedroom apartment, and this is 2 kids. You're not set up to do that. And oh, by the way, the parents, guess how much life insurance they had on themselves? They have 2 kids, one 3, one 1 year old. Guess how much life insurance they had on themselves? Anybody want to guess? You want to put it in the comments section? Zero. Zero. So the kids went into the foster care system for a period of time while the family figured out and nominated someone else who would be appropriate to be their guardians. So if you have children under 18, you need to have an estate plan and make sure the guardianship and conservatorship, they're in place. The guardianship's in place where you can nominate who you would want to take care of your kids, and it's in the court. It's in a document recognized by the courts inside of your trust. Okay. Now, what if you have property? Well, I've got a will, and the will says who gets the property and this, that, and the other. But you know that every will has to go through probate. by law. Every will has to go through probate. And wills and probate can cost a lot of money. Okay, it can take a long time because even though you say so and so gets the house, this person gets the car, all those things are in your name. You're not here anymore, and so people, one, they can contest it, and two, the court has to process it. It can take a long time. It can cost money. It can be stressful, and it's a public process. So if you have a will and it goes through probate, everyone knows what was in your will and everything you left to everybody. Okay? So for people that don't want people in their business, everybody's now in your business. It's printed. I know in my old hometown, they used to put it in the newspaper. So people would just read that to see what's going on with people. Okay, but if it's put inside of a trust, and there are two kinds of trusts. I'm not an attorney, so come to the seminar. Revocable living trust and irrevocable trust. Okay? In the trust, some of the things they can do is one, allow you to pass things on to another person and actually change who it's deeded or titled to in the trust process because you put that asset in the trust. And so it's deeded and titled to the trust. So when you pass, boom, the person that it's uh, transferred to, it's already done, and you misprobate, and it happens immediately. Okay, you guys remember Chadwick Boseman, right? And you can Google this information, but Google Chadwick Boseman. They finally resolved um, his estate, and see, just take a look at it and see how much was paid to attorneys in the state for probate versus how much his family got. Take a look at that. Okay, take a look at that. And here's something I learned is that Michael Jackson died without a estate plan. It's called dying intestate, without an estate plan. And his children actually were in the foster care system for a period of time while they figured out his estate and who would take care of the kids. Can you imagine that? That is pretty wild. Okay. So what can a trust do? A trust can also manage your estate almost like you were here. So if you want certain things to happen, if you want certain contingencies in place, so if people don't have their act together, or you know somebody struggles with this or with that, and you don't want them to have assets because it can mess them up, you can have somebody to manage the assets for them, so it doesn't hurt them financially or hurt them in their lifestyle, and to make sure they don't blow through the money. So a trust can almost manage it because you set up a trustee, somebody who's responsible for it according to your wishes, and the money can be managed even after you're gone, so it's not blown. And it's a private process. And if you get an irrevocable or irrevocable trust, there can be some asset protection from lawsuits and other things. And so here's what I suggest that you do. Okay, whether you come to the seminar we're going to provide for you on April 27th, find an estate planning attorney and sit down with them and understand the benefits of getting uh, these documents put together. Now, what I want to share with you is this. While you're doing that, the estate plan that we put together, and we don't put it together, we work with an outside organization, a law firm, to put it together, has living will, your last will and testament, which are different. Your living will is while you're alive, and hey, Ramona, and your last will and testament when you pass away, because your will is what's on your mind. Your testament is now you're testifying to that. Hey, Raphael, you testify to that by putting it in writing. So you get a living will, last will and testament, durable financial power of attorney, medical power of attorney, and healthcare directives, and the last will and testament. And you either get one of these kinds of trusts, and it's less than $1,000. It's less than $1,000. Okay, and if you have to finance it, it's $50 a month for 24 months. So we're working with a group that can make this accessible to people, so everybody can afford to get it. Okay, so please, 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 please attend the estate planning. It's free. Nationally recognized estate planning attorney on Thursday, April 27th at 7 Central, 8 Eastern. You can text or email me for the link for the meeting. There's the information, 312-569-0757, or email me, and I need your email address or a phone number that I can text to, and I can get you the link for that Thursday. Okay? Now, as I said, starting next week, what we're going to be doing is working on your financial game plan, and you need to be prepared to put your numbers together. So I know you're working on your taxes, right? Because April 15th is coming. So either you just finished them, or maybe you finished them a while ago, or maybe you're still working on them. So these numbers should be like top of mind, right? Top of mind. So you're going to need to know all your income numbers, what you're spending money on, like a household budget. You're putting all that together. Where do you have money invested, and what kinds of accounts, and how much, what are the balances? You need to know what your debts are. If you have any loans outstanding, what the balances are and what the interest rates are. If you have any credit cards, what the balances are, the interest rates are. Student loans, same thing. We're going to walk you through putting together your financial roadmap so that you can be in a position to win the money game. Because how can you win the money game if you don't have a plan? Okay? If you don't have a plan. Are you serious right now? I was talking to a friend, the producer on this show, he's playing golf. He's down in Atlanta. He's playing golf, and he was talking about the course, and it weaves through a neighborhood. And I was thinking about it. When you play golf, they they give you a scorecard that has the golf course mapped out on the scorecard. Each hole is mapped out so you can kind of see which way the hole goes, and then you can see the next hole usually from the hole you're at. What if you didn't have that? What if you didn't have the scorecard? And for those of you who've played golf before, and what if they didn't have any diagrams of how the holes were laid out at all? You just had to go out there. You didn't know how long the holes were or anything. You had to kind of wing it. Well, it kind of looks like it this far. It kind of looks like this. That would not be good. And what if you couldn't use any machines? Like they got viewfinders and stuff, so you couldn't use any of that. You're just gonna wing it. And that'd be horrible, right? So it'd be like having a GPS where you knew where you were trying to go, but you couldn't put in the GPS where you were starting from. Does where you're starting from make a difference as to how you're going to get to where you want to go? Just a little bit. Okay. So we're going to be putting down information to really nail down where you're at, what your current financial situation is, what your current mindset is about money, and then where you're trying to go and what we need to do to get there. Because the same thinking, as a friend of mine says, you want to get to the next level, it's going to take the next you to get you to the next level. Because the person you are today can operate at the level they're operating now. But if you want to get to the next level, It's going to take the next you to do that. The next version of you, okay? That you're working on being the best you, being the best you that you can be. Does that make sense? So for April, we're going to be working on the next you, so you can have a plan in place to get you from where you are to where you're going. Okay? And our ultimate goal is that you win the money game. And how do you win the money game? Well, depends on you. You are the only one who determines whether you won or not. Okay, and that's hitting your goals and making those things happen that are important to you. I can't tell you what winning the money game looks like for you. We can just help you put together that plan and help you to win. Okay? Yeah, join the Financial Freedom Friday Facebook group. Okay? Send us your information so that we can get you the information. Register for the Do Shop for April. You register by emailing me at financialfreedomfridays@gmail. You can pay the $19.99 in one of those three ways, and I'll get the materials emailed off to you. Okay, and if you send me that, I'll also get you the information for the April 27th estate planning seminar we're going to do. And I tell you, all the folks that came last night um, had very practical questions, had very good questions, and these are life altering questions. Okay, because real life happens to people. You know, real life happens to people. While you're working on your plan, real life happens to you. Okay. So let's be prepared. Okay. So, hey, that's all I got for you today. Have a great March 31st. Tomorrow's April Fool's. So go out there and have some fun. I know I had a fun week. Check this out. My son and I went and saw Creed 3. We had a blast. We went what was it, last Friday? And this week, this Wednesday, my son took me out to dinner and he paid. What? That's a good day when your son or daughter takes you out to dinner and they pay. Man, that blessed my heart. So hey, like like our time together, share with other people, get them into the do shop that we're gonna work on next week. Get them to the seminar we're doing on April 27th on Zoom, so you can be right at home, 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. And you guys take care. All right. Have a good one. Bye bye.